Discover how a new cleaning lady revealed amazing words from Millionaire'S 6-year-old twins. Maria had always dreamed of a brighter future for her children, knowing that hope was the fuel that drove her through sleepless nights and endless days of scrubbing floors and making beds. With her 2 jobs, a cleaning lady during the day and a waitress at night, Maria fueled their small home with love and grit, her heart swelling each time her kids laughed or learned something new. But on this particular morning, as she walked toward the grand mansion in the quiet suburb, a knot of uncertainty twisted in her stomach. The mansion, white and towering, felt like a castle. Maria marveled at the colossal doors and manicured gardens as her small, worn shoes crunched on the gravel driveway. She took a deep breath, shaking off the self-doubt that crept in. Today was a new beginning. Walk confidently, she reminded herself, a mantra born from life's many trials. When Maria entered the mansion, the air smelled of lemon and fresh paint, a stark contrast to her modest surroundings. As she started her routine, the 6-year-old twins burst into the room, their laughter ringing through the extravagant hallways like music. Aiden and Mia, with their bright eyes and curious minds, were like a breath of fresh air. They approached Maria with unguarded excitement about the world around them. "Are you the cleaning lady?" Aiden asked, arms crossed and a playful grin on his face. Maria chuckled, "I guess I am." Their innocent curiosity sparked something in her heart, and as she polished the banister, she began to weave stories from her childhood, tales of resilience, kindness, and the magic of believing in oneself. The twins were enchanted, their minds swirling with the adventure of her words, turning the mundane task of cleaning into a canvas of stories. "Tell us about the girl who saved the world," Mia exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. Days turned into weeks, with Maria sharing her beloved stories of determination. The twins soaked it in, learning the importance of kindness, empathy, and sharing what they had. Maria saw a change in their laughter, a depth to their playfulness that mirrored her teachings. But it wasn't long before this blossoming friendship caught the attention of their mother, a high-powered executive who dismissed Maria's input as trivial. One afternoon, Maria began to tell the story of a young girl who overcame life's hurdles through compassion. "Who cares about these silly stories?" The twins' mother interrupted, her condescending tone slicing through the warmth of the moment. Maria's heart sank as tension filled the air. "Mom, it matters," Aiden shouted, surprising even himself. Maria felt a swell of pride at his defense, yet uncertainty loomed heavy in the room. She stood there, her spirit clashing with the weight of social judgment, wondering if her voice would carry through the walls of privilege that surrounded them. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As Maria looked into the twins' earnest faces, her voice grew steadier. Each word turned into an affirmation of hope, not just for her children, but for all of them. Would the twins' words share her strength, or would they retreat back into the cozy bubble of privilege? Maria's heart raced, a tidal wave of fear and hope crashing against one another. The moment hung in the air like a question, heavy with possibility. Would Aiden and Mia bridge the divide, or would Maria's beautiful lessons fade away in the shadow of wealth and status? Holding her breath, Maria felt the power of her impact pulsating, a connection woven in the tension, waiting to break free. Aiden's defiance hung thick in the air, and for a fleeting moment, silence enveloped the room. Maria's heart beat loudly, and she held her breath, caught in the whirlwind of uncertainty. Would the twins stand by her side, or would the weight of their mother's disdain push them back? Mia's small hand shot up, a signal of solidarity that didn't go unnoticed. "Mom, stories can help us understand," she said, her voice steady for such a tiny figure. Maria felt warmth spread through her, a gentle reminder that sometimes, hope comes from the most unexpected sources. "Exactly," Aiden added, crossing his arms, his youthful determination shining. It's not just about cleaning. Maria teaches us important things. The twins' mother, taken aback, frowned deeply a moment that felt like a battle between innocence and authority. Maria, caught between nervousness and joy, found herself smiling softly. This was a defining moment. This was what she had hoped for. "Kids, you don't know everything," their mother said, her voice sharp. "We have professionals for that." For a split second, Maria felt her heart crash. The harsh tone felt like a reminder of her place, a stark contrast to the warmth she aimed to foster. But then Aiden piped up, "But we want Maria's stories. They are special." As the children clung to their convictions, Maria felt buoyed by their support. It wasn't just her struggle. It was theirs too. She took a breath and looked into the twins' eyes, lingering a moment too long. They had not lost sight of the value of her words despite the obstacles. "Listen," Maria said, trying to keep her voice steady. "The stories are all about love, kindness, and bravery. They're for us all, no matter where we come from. They remind us that everyone has a voice worth hearing." The room buzzed with tension. The twins' mother glanced at her watch, clearly agitated. "I'll not waste time on childish tales," she said dismissively and then turned to leave. But something in her posture shifted, perhaps a flicker of doubt as she observed the fervent expressions on her children's faces. "Wait!" Aiden called out, his voice echoing off the crisp white walls. "We're learning from Maria. She's amazing." The desperation in his words held power. Maria's heart stirred. If only for that instance, the divide seemed to thin. "Maybe, just maybe, I could join in next time." The suggestion wavered from the mother, uncertainty softening her usual sternness. "What if we all have a story to share?" Mia chimed in, her eyes sparkling with mischief, delighting in the notion. Maria could hardly believe it. Could it be that the twins' unwavering belief in her had begun to chip away at their mother's armor? "Let us have a storytelling day," Aiden insisted, eyes bright. "Everyone can tell their favorite story." The atmosphere shifted dramatically, a ripple of excitement running through the room. Maria's chest swelled with hope, envisioning the possibility of bonding over stories, her stories creating bridges where none had existed before. Just then, their mother turned to Maria. "If you do this, you can be part of it too." Her words were surprisingly warm, an invitation rather than an order. Maria blinked, almost in disbelief. "I'd love that, thank you." But as the warmth enveloped her, a nagging fear crept in. What if the real world crushed this sweet moment? She had learned too well that change was slow, often met with resistance and misunderstanding. As the children moved closer to her, wrapping their arms around her waist, a smile crept to her face, mixed with a tinge of doubt. Could one storytelling day shift their perspective? Could Maria truly make them understand the profound magic that lived in every tale? With the sun streaming through the grand windows, Maria felt a flicker of light warming her heart. Yet, in that light, the shadows of doubt lingered. What if one storytelling day wasn't enough? What if their mother went back to dismissing everything Maria said? Before she could spiral further into her thoughts, Aiden's voice was bright and loud. "Tomorrow's going to be the best day ever." With a heart full of cautious hope, Maria watched the twins, their smiles beaming, the mansion feeling just a little more like home. But as the day drew to a close, a lingering question hung in the air: could love and stories truly bridge the chasm between them all? Tomorrow, everything could change. The next morning dawned bright and hopeful, but the butterflies dancing in Maria's stomach threatened to make her nauseous. Today was storytelling day. As she prepared the small corner of the grand living room, her mind raced with possibilities. Would the twins really take the stage? Would their mother permit their stories to flourish? Mia arrived first, her hair tied in playful pigtails, her footsteps light with excitement. "Maria, I can't wait. I want to tell my favorite story about the fairy who helped the lost puppy." Maria knelt to give her a warm embrace. "That sounds amazing." she said, her heart swelling. You're going to bring it to life. Moments later, Aiden rushed in, the morning sun gleaming off his tousled hair, eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I brought my superhero comic. I want to turn it into a story. Perfect. Maria exclaimed, the words bursting from her in joy. You two are already going to make this day special. But just as quickly, the excitement was punctured by the harsh sound of footsteps. The twins' mother entered, arms crossed, her demeanor casting a shadow over their enthusiasm. What's all this? She asked, a challenging tone in her voice. Mom, we're ready to share our stories. Mia announced bravely, standing taller in an attempt to match her mother's imposing figure. The glare that their mother shot back held a mix of skepticism and irritation. Stories? Don't you think there are more important things to do than waste time on childish games? Maria felt her heart sink. Hadn't yesterday's moment meant something? The warmth, the encouragement. It all seemed so far away now, as if it was just a fantasy. But Mom, Aiden said, stepping a little closer to Mia. Maria's stories are different. They help us think. His voice trembled slightly, but determination shone in his eyes. Their mother shifted, her jaw tightening. We've talked about this, she insisted, her voice cold. You need to focus on your studies and preparing for the future, not childish daydreams. A silence fell, thick and heavy. Maria could see the twins' spirits start to dim. They looked to her for support, and that simple act rekindled her own fire. Stories are not just about dreams, Maria interjected, her voice steadier than she felt. They teach us about life, about love and courage. Exactly, Mia chimed, drawing courage from the woman they both stood beside now. When I tell my fairy story, it reminds me to be kind. It's not just a game. Their mother's expression wavered, just for a heartbeat. For an instant, Maria could see the flicker of doubt in her eyes, like a crack in a wall. Why don't you listen, just for today? Maria suggested gently, her heart racing. You might be surprised at what they can share. We all have stories that matter. The room seemed to hold its breath, the air thick with anticipation. The twins watched their mother, their expressions hopeful yet anxious. After a tense pause, the mother finally sighed, her demeanor softening just a fraction. Fine, she said, an edge of reluctance in her tone. But only for a little while. A wave of relief surged through Maria, warm and brimming with promise. The twins squealed in delight, exchanging a glance filled with secret triumph. As they settled into their seats, the energy in the room shifted. Maria sensed that this moment was significant, not just for the twins, but for everyone present. They might just be teetering on the brink of something beautiful. Let us begin. Aiden declared, leaning forward eagerly. Maria smiled wide, looking at each eager face in the room. Today was a leap into the unknown, a dive into a world where connections might grow from tales shared. But as the twins began to tell their stories, a familiar voice echoed in Maria's mind, the heart of doubt whispering that even this small victory could be short-lived. Would their mother truly allow this new bond to flourish, or would she retreat into her defenses once more? The tales unfolded, each word brave and bright, but in the depths of Maria's heart, a question lingered: would the real change come, or would it all vanish like smoke in the air? As the last word echoed, she caught her breath, the air electric. Tomorrow could be brighter, yet just a corner away lay the shadows. Would they embrace the warmth of story or hide away again? As Mia's story about the fairy unfolded, the room seemed to transform. The vivid imagery painted by her words enveloped them all like a warm blanket. Maria watched in awe as Mia's courage fueled Aiden, who, in turn, drew strength from his sister's enthusiasm. The twins' voices danced in unison, bringing laughter and gasps to the audience, but Maria's gaze kept drifting back to their mother, searching for any sign of softening. I've missed my puppy so much, Mia said, her voice a gentle plea. But the fairy found him and put a sparkle in his eyes, so I knew he was safe. For a moment, the mother's expression flickered. Maria noted the way her lips quirked. A hint of a smile peeked through the veil of skepticism. But as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. The mother straightened herself, as if bracing against the tide of sentiment. "Enough of this," she said abruptly, clearly uncomfortable. "You should both remember there's a life outside these stories, a world that demands you to be more than dreamers." Mia and Aiden's faces fell. Maria felt her heart racing, the air thickening with unspoken fears. She took a step closer, her determination rising. "But what if dreaming is the start of being more?" She challenged gently. "What if these stories become their wings?" Aiden nodded vigorously, a small tremor of hope igniting in his eyes. "I want to be a hero. And Maria taught me that heroes can change the world, even if it starts with a single story." As they took turns sharing tales of daring adventure and bravery, Maria felt the atmosphere shift again. The room filled with laughter and gasps, the twins' imaginations breaking the barrier of their mother's preconceived notions. Then came Aiden's turn with his superhero comic story. The way he described his character soaring above the city, rescuing those in need, made the air electric with possibility. "And just like superheroes," he exclaimed, his little fists clenched in excitement, "we can all save the day." Maria couldn't hold back her joy at their performance, but her heart worried for the impending reaction from the woman who held so much power over their budding creativity. For now, the story was unfolding beautifully, but tension hung in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. The last note of Aiden's tale faded into silence. The twins looked to their mother, expectant and hopeful. Maria led the charge, turning to the woman in query. "What did you think? Stories like theirs could change how we see the world." Their mother remained still, her face unreadable. For a moment, it felt as if time had forgotten to flow. Then, a soft sigh escaped her lips. "You both did well," she said quietly, the hint of a smile trying to break through. Maria's heart swelled with relief, the first glimmer of true approval she'd seen. But just as quickly, the mother straightened up, her brows knitting together again. "But don't let this get in the way of what you truly need to focus on." Mia and Aiden exchanged glances, the mix of joy and disappointment palpable between them. It was clear they'd touched a nerve, but how far would their mother let them delve into these narratives that brought them to life? Feeling the weight of the moment, Maria leaned down to reassure the twins. "Remember," she whispered, "your stories have value. They help you understand yourselves and the world around you. Please don't let anyone tell you otherwise." As the three children settled slightly back after their performance, Maria caught a glimpse of something deeper within Aiden's bright eyes. His unyielding belief was a power that even their mother hadn't crushed yet. Beside her, Mia squeezed her hand, her little heart yearning for more. "Can we tell another story tomorrow?" she asked, excitement bubbling to the surface. Just then, their mother cleared her throat. "Well, we'll see," she began, but Maria could sense the storm brewing. The warmth they experienced today felt fragile, like a butterfly resting on the edge of a leaf. Would tomorrow bring fresh acceptance, or would they find themselves retreating into the shadows again? As the promise of those stories hung like ripe fruit on the vine, uncertainty coiled tightly around their hearts. What would it take for the chance to share their voices fully? As Maria looked into the eyes of the twins, she felt that spark of change. They were on the verge of something monumental, but just how much courage would it take to break through the barriers? Would they rise to it together? The sun dipped low, casting golden rays through the window. Maria gathered her thoughts, her heart battling with hope and anxiety as she steeled herself for the next day. She could practically hear the rustling of adventure just out of reach, yet she also felt the weight of the mother's skepticism pressing down harder than before. Morning came with a soft rustle of leaves outside. Mia and Aiden rose with bright spirits, their excitement almost palpable. They had spent the night dreaming up new stories to share. Aiden clutched his favorite superhero toy, eyes sparkling with anticipation. Mia had her fairy tale ready, complete with illustrations drawn hastily on scrap paper. Maria Are you ready to help us? Aiden chirped, bouncing on his toes. Absolutely. We're going to knock her socks off today. Maria replied, confidence surging as she walked through the house, gathering the twins. Family portraits lined the walls, each smiling face hiding unspoken stories as rich and colorful as the one Mia had spun the night before. When they gathered around to share their latest tales, Maria noticed their mother entering the room. The woman's expression was neutral, but Maria felt the air change. You two haven't given up on this nonsense, have you? She asked, her tone sharp, but Maria caught the slight tremor, the flicker of uncertainty. Mom! Aiden exclaimed, eyes wide with determination. We have something amazing to tell you today. You might like it. I'm sure it's just another bunch of fanciful dreams, the mother replied dismissively, but Mia's hopeful gaze seemed to soften her resistance. She couldn't help but look at the children's eager faces. Maria nodded to the twins, and together, they launched into their stories, voices intertwining as they painted vivid pictures of heroics and magic. Aiden told of a daring rescue, while Mia transformed a simple tale into a grand adventure where sunlight became a magical potion. With every word, the laughter and applause from Maria urged them on. Slowly, the mother's mask began to crack. She stood, arms crossed, but at times, a flicker of interest crossed her face. Maria noticed how her foot tapped rhythmically to their narrative. Was she actually engaged? And then, Mia exclaimed, the fairy turned into a real girl. She told me that dreams can be real if you just believe. The room fell silent as they finished, breath held like a fragile secret. Maria felt the rising tide of hope pushing against the barriers. Mom, wasn't he that cool? Aiden grinned, daring to bridge that daunting gap. The woman looked at her children, and for a moment, Maria thought she saw a shift in her gaze. Just then, the telephone rang, cutting through the warmth like a knife. As their mother stepped away to answer, the twins exchanged nervous glances. The brief interruption felt like a thunderclap. A heart-sinking thought crossed Maria's mind: would they lose their chance again? Do you think she liked it? Mia asked softly, her small fingers ringing together. I think she did, Maria replied, feeling the warmth of hope flickering again. But we can't give up. We need to show her more. Maybe if she sees how special your stories are, she'll understand. The twins nodded, a sense of determination kindling in their eyes. They clutched each other tightly, ready to stand against the looming doubt that seemed to grow every moment. Their mother returned, looking decidedly more troubled. I have to take this call, she said curtly. You two can go play. The twins sighed, disappointment hanging thick in the air, but Maria wouldn't let the moment slip away. What if we turned this into a story too? She proposed, her spirit unyielding. What do you mean? Aiden asked, curiosity sparking anew. Maria leaned in, her voice low but excited. What if we wrote a story about a family who faced challenges? One where they fought to find their magic. Mia's eyes widened. Like us? Exactly. But it can only be our truth. Maria paused, contemplating what that really meant. Just then, the weight of the mother's criticism echoed back, testing her resolve. Are we ready to confront what we fear? As they gathered inspiration for their new tale, the tension hung quietly once more. Would they have the courage to explore such an uncertain path? Tomorrow held untold possibilities, but the real question lingered: would they be able to share their hearts and truly be heard, or would the shadows of doubt eclipse their dreams again? With the weight of uncertainty lingering, Maria led Aiden and Mia to the quiet corner of the living room, where sunlight filtered through the thick branches of their backyard tree. It was a space where dreams could come alive, where whispers of magic filled the air. As she settled onto the floor, the twins followed suit, their eager eyes glued to Maria. Let us create a world where anything is possible, she said, the idea sparking excitement in her voice. A place where you can be the heroes. What if, Aiden jumped in, his fingers dancing in the air, we start in a secret forest, where every tree has a door. And behind each door, Mia added, her imagination igniting, their a different adventure. As they brainstormed, their laughter rippled through the home, temporarily pushing away the clouds of doubt. Maria saw the way their faces brightened, how their spirits lifted like balloons. The thought alone was a canvas of vibrant colors, richer than any painting and more precious than gold. Lost in their creativity, they began sketching the outline of their story. Maria took notes while the twins shared their thoughts. She could feel their connection deepening, each word weaving them closer together. With every line, they poured their hearts onto the paper, highlighting their dreams and fears, as if laying bare their souls. Maria felt alive, invigorated by the possibility of what they could share. Before long, the story came to life: a runaway princess rescuing trapped animals, a brave knight defeating a fiery dragon, and a talking bird who knew all the secrets of the forest. The trio cheered for each twist and turn, oblivious to the outside world. But Maria knew that every moment was a ticking clock. Time was rare, and she could sense their mother's skepticism lurking like an unwelcome guest. The call had seemed urgent, tense. What if this adventure was cut short? Mia, Aiden, Maria said gently, we should also include a part where they have to believe in themselves. Like us? Aiden asked, his innocent curiosity tugging at Maria's heart. Exactly, she responded. It's important. It's our truth, like we said. Their eyes sparkled with understanding. If we believe in our story, maybe Mom will too, Mia whispered, hope flooding her voice. Suddenly, the front door creaked open, and their mother walked in, her face a mixture of weariness and a hint of curiosity. What are you all up to? She asked, glancing at the scribbled notes and colorful drawings scattered around them. Maria's heart raced. This was the chance they had been waiting for. She took a deep breath, steeling herself. We're writing a story. A really important one. Would you like to hear it? A shadow flickered across their mother's face, and for a moment, Maria feared rejection. But then, she saw something softer in her gaze, a flicker of intrigue that hadn't been there before. Perhaps Maria read too much into it, but she held on to hope like a fragile butterfly. Maybe I can spare a few minutes, their mother replied, uncertainty dripping from her words, yet curiosity threaded through them. Mia and Aiden exchanged hopeful glances, their spirits reigniting. Maria nodded to the twins, urging them to begin. As they recited their tale, pausing to explain the illustrations, Maria felt the tension in the air shift. Their mother leaned in, her earlier skepticism dimming. Each word they spoke seemed to pull her deeper into the story. With every twist they revealed, hope awoke anew inside Maria, swelling like a steady flame against the chill. But just as excitement built, their mother's phone buzzed again, an unexpected interruption. The moment was fragile, a precarious balance. Maria held her breath. Would this break their connection, or could they fulfill their plan? Mom, wait. Just a bit longer. Aiden pleaded, his voice rising with urgency. Would they capture their mother's heart, or would her indifference snuff out the flickering light of hope once more? The answer teetered on the edge, just within reach. Maria's heart raced as she watched her mother's uncertainty. The phone buzzed again, nearly drowning out the final flourish of their tale. Just a bit longer, she thought, clutching her notebook, the pages a tapestry of dreams woven together by young voices. Mom, the forest is magic. Mia exclaimed, animatedly pointing to a drawing of trees with shimmering doors. And each hero learns something special inside. The corners of their mother's mouth twitched slightly, hinting at a smile as she glanced from the twins to the chaotic colorful drawings scattered like confetti on the floor. I've always loved magic, she murmured, but her eyes flickered back to the phone. Please, we need your focus. Aiden chimed in, his small hand stretched forward as if he could pull her into their story. You're part of it too. For a heartbeat, the world in the room stood still. The air thickened with anticipation, and time felt fluid, as though it could coexist with their unfolding narrative. Their mother hesitated, the phone vibrating a dull reminder of adult obligations, yet her gaze softened, her heart pulled by her children's pleas. All right, she said finally, setting the phone aside. "Tell me more." Her willingness felt like gold dust, fueling their spirits. Maria exchanged glances with the twins, her own heart swelling with gratitude. "Okay, we were just about to discover what happens when the knight meets the dragon. The knight has to find a special crystal," she began, launching into the story as their imagination flowed back to life. "A crystal that glows when you're brave." Mia chimed in, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "And if you believe, it lights up." "Right." Aiden added, drawing a wide circle around their illustration. "It shows the hero their path." They spoke exuberantly, weaving details into the world they created together. Maria could feel her mother leaning in, captivated by the light in their voices. As the narrative spun tales of courage and self-belief, Maria felt that familiar warmth spread through her. Hope began to fill the spaces where doubt once thrived, but even as they animated each character with vibrant detail, a weight still rested on Maria's shoulders. Was this spark enough to bridge the distance that had grown? Would their mother truly embrace the wonder they had created, or would she retreat once more into the worries of the world? Just as the knight found his crystal, the phone buzzed again. The moment shattered like glass. Their mother glared at the device, torn between duty and the allure of her children's voices. The twins stopped, tension creeping back in. "Mom, will you keep listening?" Mia asked, her voice soft but firm, echoing their need for connection. "Yes, please." Aiden echoed, hope threading through his tone. The room shifted again, the sunlight making everything glow just a little brighter. Their mother instinctively reached for the phone, but paused, her hand hovering above it. In that heartbeat, Maria held her breath. This was the moment, the fragile junction where everything could change. Would their mother choose to be present? Would she engage, becoming part of their world right here on the living room floor? As her mother's internal struggle played across her face, Maria felt the stakes rise. Would they ascend into that magical adventure together or fall back into the shadows of doubt? And then, their mother spoke, her voice steady, yet tender, as if she had finally made a choice. "Okay, I'm here with you. Let us dive into this story together." But little did Maria know, a deeper truth lingered beneath the surface. What their mother would reveal next could change everything. The moment stretched, heavy with curiosity and possibility. Maria held her breath, waiting for her mother to dive deeper into the magical world they had conjured. "Okay," their mother began, her voice warm but cautious. "So, what happens next? How does the knight use the crystal?" With renewed energy, Maria's heart pounded. "The knight learns that his bravery isn't just about fighting," she explained, her voice bubbling with excitement. "It's about standing up for what's right." Mia clapped her hands, eyes wide. "And the dragon isn't mean at all. He just needs a friend." "Right." Aiden shouted, bouncing in his spot. "The knight helps the dragon find his family. That's what makes him a true hero." The room seemed to fill with color as their imaginations painted the scene. Each word spun threads of connection, not just in the story, but among them, binding them closer together. Maria's earlier anxieties faded like clouds parting for sunlight. "Wow," their mother said, leaning in closer. "That sounds beautiful." Maria smiled, the compliment warming her. But anxiety twisted again in her stomach. The phone remained inches away, a silent specter hovering on the edge of their moment. Would it ring again? Would her mother be taken back into the mundane world of rings and notifications? Determined to keep that connection, Maria pressed on, her voice steady. But then a sudden storm appears, and the knight has to make a choice. What choice? Their mother asked, genuinely intrigued. Maria's words flowed, constructing a scene where the knight had to choose between helping the dragon find his family or looking for safety. "Some heroes are called to adventure when they risk everything to stay true to their friends," she said thoughtfully. The twins exchanged glances, wide-eyed, sensing the deeper meaning woven into the tale. Their mother's brow furrowed, and Maria wondered if she understood the weight of not just the story but their everyday lives. "Mom. Mia asked softly, breaking the spell. What do you think? Would you choose safety, or would you help your friend? Their mother hesitated, her gaze drifting to the window where the branches swayed in the breeze. She started, her voice suddenly small, as if the question cracked open something deep inside her. I think I'd help. The revelation floated like a feather. Aiden's eyes sparkled with understanding, and Maria held her breath. But what if helping means putting something else at risk? Maria interjected, the weight of their mother's words echoing back to her insecurities, their connection still fragile between them. Their mother took a moment, the tension sparking. Sometimes being brave means facing the things you fear. It's about finding the balance. Maria could feel the heat in her chest, the same kind of courage they described in their story. Just like the night, right? Mia chimed in, nodding toward her mother. Yes, their mother said thoughtfully, her eyes meeting Maria's. Just like the night. The air felt charged, a shared realization settling in the room. Their little storytelling session held the power of transformation, not just for imaginary heroes, but for them all. Suddenly, the phone buzzed again, this time more insistent. The spell broke and reality seeped back in. Their mother stared at it, uncertainty brewing once more in her eyes. Mom. Maria's voice trembled, her heart clenching, but before she could finish, their mother's hand shot out, silencing the call. No. Not now. Right now, this matters more. The words lingered, filling the room with a fragile sense of hope. Here they were, carving out a space for each other, hanging on to the magic they had spun. But then, just as it felt like they were on the cusp of true connection, something shifted, something that threatened to shatter the moment once more. Mom, can I ask you something? Aiden's voice was small, his innocent query hanging in the air like a pebble tossed into a pond, creating ripples of uncertainty. What is it, Aiden? Do you have a magic crystal too? The question hung there, full of implications, waiting for an answer that could change everything. Maria felt a chill run down her spine. Aiden's innocent question held a weight that pressed down on her. She exchanged a glance with Mia, both of them sensing the potential shift in mood. Their mother's smile faltered, and the room felt smaller as an uneasy silence enveloped them. A magic crystal? Their mother echoed, her voice barely more than a whisper. Well, sweetie, I'm afraid I don't have one of those. But why not? Aiden pressed, his big eyes searching for an answer. You're a grown-up. Grown-ups should have magic. Mia jumped in. Yeah. You can be a superhero, like the night. You're brave. Their mother's expression flickered between a smile and uncertainty. Maria could see her fighting with something deep down, a mix of fears and realities that perhaps they weren't ready to face yet. But sometimes their mother started, hesitating again. Sometimes we don't realize how much courage we have inside us. We think the magic is something outside like a crystal. But really, it's within us, waiting to be found. The weight of her words wrapped around Maria's heart, squeezing it tight. Was her mother trying to tell them something? Something about being brave? Something about their own family? Like the knight being brave for the dragon? Aiden added, looking up at his mother like she was a hero, waiting for her to illuminate the connection. Exactly. Their mother nodded, her voice stronger now, filled with something like resolve. But it's not easy. It takes practice just like any adventure. I want to practice. Mia said, bouncing in her seat. Can we practice with you? Their mother's eyes softened, showing that flicker of hope again. Maybe we can. We can find our own kind of magic every day. Even in little things. Maria felt the tension begin to melt away. The moment held potential. They weren't just imagining heroes in their story, they were revealing layers within their own lives. What about the storm? Maria asked, eager to steer them back into the narrative. The knight and the dragon need to make a plan. Just then, the phone buzzed yet again, a harsh reminder that the real world lurked just beyond their little bubble. This time, the sound echoed through the room like a warning bell. Their mother's expression flickered. The moment felt fragile, as if it could shatter at any moment. She glanced at the screen and took a deep breath, hesitating before reaching for the phone. Maria's heart raced, desperation tugging at her heartstrings. "No!" Maria exclaimed, launching herself forward. "Let us just finish the story. The night is waiting." "Please, Mom." Mia chimed in, her small hands clasped together. Their mother paused, the struggle evident on her face. The buzzing continued, but in that moment, the weight of their eyes, of their hopes, seemed to pull her back to them. "All right," she said finally, setting the phone aside. "Let us see what happens next." As the story continued to unfold, Maria could feel the connection growing stronger. They were in this together, not just as characters in a tale but as a family facing the storms of their own lives. With each word that flowed from her lips, the knight became more than a hero. He became a symbol of everything they were navigating together. Suddenly the storm quieted, and the knight had to choose, she said, the words flying free. He could chase after his own safety or stand by his friend, but just as she was building toward the climax, a loud knock echoed from the front door. The sound crashed through their moment like a powerful wave, sending ripples of uncertainty through them all. "Who could that be?" Aiden whispered. Maria felt her heart leap. Could it be someone who needs help? Their mother stood, uncertainty flickering across her features as she approached the door, leaving Maria and the twins at the edge of their seats. In the next moment, everything could change again, just like in their story. The truth awaited them beyond that door, and Maria wondered if they were ready for whatever magic or challenge might lie ahead. As the door swung open, light poured into the dimly lit room, illuminating the surprise waiting outside. There stood a neighbor, eyes wide with concern. "I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I heard something unusual this morning. The storm broke a large branch in my yard, and I could use some help." Maria's heart skipped a beat. Here it was. A real-life challenge that mirrored their story's themes of courage and friendship. The twins leaned forward, eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Mom, they need help." Aiden exclaimed, looking up at their mother, who stood at the threshold, hesitation etched across her face. The neighbor glanced nervously from the twins to the mother. "It's nothing too serious, just a little extra hand," she added, her tone softening as she caught sight of the excitement in the children's eyes. Maria felt a rush of possibilities unfolding. This was it. The moment they had been waiting for. "What do you think?" she asked their mother, her voice laced with anticipation. "Is this a chance for us to be heroes today?" Their mother's gaze flickered to the twins, who wore expressions of eager hope. "Helping someone is important," she said slowly, her voice gaining strength. "And it could teach us something about bravery, like the knight choosing to stand by his friend." Laughter bubbled from Mia, joy blooming in her heart at the prospect of turning their imagination into a reality. "Let us go be heroes, Mom," she chirped. Their mother stepped forward, the shadow of doubt that had loomed so long finally fading. "All right," she said firmly, a smile breaking free at last. "Let us help our neighbor, and then we can finish the story when we get back." With that, the tension dissipated, replaced by an electric sense of adventure. The trio of Maria, Aiden, and Mia bounded to the door, pulling their mother along behind them, and together they followed the neighbor to the yard. As they worked, lifting branches, laughing at each other's silly attempts to stack them, Maria watched her children light up in the shared activity. It felt as if each swing of the branch and every giggle was threading them closer as a family. In that moment, Maria knew that love, kindness, and courage could illuminate even the darkest corners. With each task, the certainty grew. Their mother was becoming part of their world, embracing the magic that lay not only in stories but in life itself. After clearing the final branch, they stepped back, admiring the work they had accomplished together. The soft warmth of satisfaction wrapped around them. "See," Maria said, her heart swelling with joy. You all are heroes. You showed bravery, just like the knight. Aiden and Mia bounced on their toes, pride radiating from their faces. Their mother's eyes shone brightly, maturity blending seamlessly with childlike wonder. Thank you, everyone, she said, her voice sincere. This was truly what today was meant for. Perhaps stories and reality can go hand in hand. With grateful hugs exchanged, they returned home, the sun low in the sky, casting golden rays around them. They huddled together on the living room floor once more, the elements of their magical story swirling in their hearts. Now, can we finish the story? Mia asked, her excitement bubbling over like a pot on the stove. Of course. Maria cheered, let us show the knight facing the storm and standing for what he believes in. As they dove back into their world of imagination, something shifted. It was as if the characters they'd built drew strength from their own experiences, their bravery not just a whisper of fiction but a real testament to their journey. A sense of belonging wrapped around them like a warm blanket. They had faced the storm, both in the story and in their lives. In this extraordinary moment, Maria knew they had transcended barriers. They had formed a bond that integrated the struggles of their day-to-day lives with the magic of storytelling. A true family fight for love, understanding, and belief in each other. Mom, you're basically a superhero too. Aiden exclaimed, joy spilling over in his laughter. Their mother grinned, heartwarming joy radiating in her eyes. Yes, I think maybe I do have a little magic after all. As they wrapped their story, the air hung thick with possibility. Real change had dawned that day. They understood now that magic wouldn't just wait in tales, it thrived in their everyday moments, born from life's ups and downs. Now, as they huddled together, hearts connected, Maria whispered a thankful prayer into the universe. Love and stories had prevailed. This was just the beginning. Remember, friends, love, stories, and togetherness can create real magic in our lives. If you felt a spark from our journey, you need to subscribe now to witness more transformations that inspire hope. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and help us spread joy. Comment below on your feelings about this beautiful ending, and share instantly with at least 5 friends who can use a dose of enchantment in their lives. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share this with those who need to join our adventure.